This thing. It can float in midair. It can also be held. It makes sounds. These are sounds of me tapping on it, but it actually can make its own sound. There are voices in this thing. This thing took me. Can I have it back? Can I have this thing back? This thing here took me tens of thousands of hours. I'm not even kidding. It is really weird how your ears are white. Like this. And this is like this. What's up with your ears? You look lovely today, by the way. But I'm serious, I want to talk to you about this thing. I'm Jen, and I'm kind of nervous about this thing. Can I have it back? I worked really hard on this. This was several million words of rewriting. Well, this thing is part of it. That was it. Took a long time. Over 100 rejections. Lots of emotional waiting. This thing. Lots of that. I love scratching your head. I was telling you about this thing. This thing means a lot to me. You guys know that I have a diagnosis of PTSD. I started this book. Oh, I just gave it away. Well, you knew. You figured it out. I started it when, long before I really understood what PTSD was. But, a long time ago. But now, I'm returning to it for the rewrite for my publisher years later, because this thing took me 15 years. 15 years for this thing. 15 years. Is the repeating annoying? I'm doing it because I'm kind of into sounds. I'm sorry. I know. But I have a new rule right now. And I think that this is a rule for you and for me. That if you call yourself that, you must immediately do some push-ups or some sit-ups or jumping jacks. Like, you gotta get down and give me 10, right? That way you're actually doing either one of two things will happen. Either you will develop better self-esteem and have less negative self-talk, or you will get fit and it won't be a problem anymore. What do you think? What do you think about that? What do you think? Here's the deal about this thing. Here is the deal about this thing. It's got a moment in it with the main male protagonist that is literally just the words that I felt like yelling after everything that happened in Korea. Literally just that, like, just that agony of like, why didn't you help me prevent or save them? Like, why didn't I have backup? Why didn't this, like, I don't want to go into it too much right now, because I'm actually really sore today, physically, and also I'm very raw. I'm having a lot of memories come back, for real. And I'm not just saying this, this is just the worst week to have this announcement. I have to do it, because there's something special about this thing. All today. All Wednesday. Today only. So, well, it's today in your time. I'm past Jen. Who knows what future Jen is doing? Who knows what Jen in your time is doing? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But I'm serious. I'm serious. You know what I did just realize? I just realized that I didn't turn anything on back here. Yeah. Probably fine. Here's the thing. I like to imagine unrealistic scenarios and guess scientifically how could they be possible, right? Rather than starting from what's possible, I like thinking about, okay, this thing is generally regarded as impossible. What would need to be the case for it to be possible, right? At least where science and technology comes in, right? Because that's in real life how technology advances, right? The guy who made the radio, they said, they said that was impossible. That was never going to be. You should see how many naysayers, all the things they said about the uselessness of a computer. The uselessness of a computer, especially as a personal device, right? And now everyone has a computer on them all the time, right? So, we limit ourselves by what we think is possible or not possible. The situation. But for fiction, and obviously we need to be realistic, we need to be grounded and have our feet on the ground, but for fiction, I like to think about, okay, how, if this did exist, what would explain it? For example, we know that electric eels exist, but if you were to tell me about an electric eel, and I'd never seen one before, I would tell you that was science fiction. Well, I haven't seen one, but you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. I think so. This is in my way. This is in the way of me getting to your ear properly. It's a little bit annoying, to tell you the multicultural stuff is in there. It's very real. Very, very real. And for today, just for today, is the only day that pre-orders are going to be less than $8 for what took me thousands of hours. Great. So, by comparison, a video takes, I don't know, maximum 30 hours. Unless like the Meiji one, which took me maybe 60 hours over 6 months or something like that. I don't know, hard to explain. A lot of research and so forth, but right, I'm talking tens of thousands of hours. And after this, because I mean it is professional, this is not self-published. Nothing against self-publishing or indie publishing. I've done that before. But this is coming out from Kevin J. Anderson's Word Fire Press. Kevin J. Anderson is a author who has worked who has worked on Star Wars books, who has written for DC and the Dune prequels as well. And his publishing company is putting out this book. So, yeah, today is the only day, starting right now, which is why this is coming out midnight on Tuesday. Just from now until midnight on Wednesday. This is the only day that you can get this. So yeah, I hope you do. I know this isn't maybe what you want in a video, but I'm trying to be authentic, and this is authentically what's going on in my life. Some of y'all don't like it when I'm authentic. Some of y'all want me to be this person that I'm not. Which, by the way, is very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. A lot of you, especially males, act like you have, I don't know, you can be a little controlling. Not you, of course. You are one of the good ones. Does that sound so condescending? One of the good ones. What does that even mean? But you are fine. You are just fine. I know you are, because we're at minute 14 in the video. And the people I'm talking about are not at minute 14 in the video, for the most part. Sometimes. It's difficult to explain to people that, like, I get very uncomfortable, kind of like Lem in Neodymium Exodus. I get very uncomfortable when I am made to feel like somebody owns me. I don't like that. And in a way, we all belong to each other, right? We're part of this human family. But I'll give you an example. There was somebody who was very friendly, and we were talking about philosophy and belief systems, and I thought that was super cool. And I was gonna, this is somebody who claimed to be interested in the kind of stuff that I'm interested in, so I was gonna introduce them to my rabbi and stuff like that. And then when they found out that I was married, they cut off contact with me that sucks. Don't do that. Like, you should talk to people because they're human beings. Not because you could, it's just not cool. So, that's what I mean by some of you acting like you own me. Like, well, that's different. That's not what I mean. That's a different thing. But that's an example of the, like, it is kind of ownery. It's like, I'm only worthwhile talking to, if my baby making capacities are open for business. I don't know. Yeah, my hair's super wet, feel. It gets, like, weird and hard when it's wet. Does your hair do that? Your hair's very nice, by the way. So, and then I've had other people, like, people can make a lot of assumptions about I don't like it when people make assumptions that are, and by the way, like, I don't have ill will towards that person. That just wasn't cool. Like, don't do that. Like, quite frankly. So, and I tried to let them know that wasn't cool, but they had already, like, ceased contact and like totally cut everything off. I couldn't contact them. And that's weird. Like, that's just super, super weird. Why can't we just be humans to each other? I'm not, and I've had that happen in real life on many occasions where somebody wouldn't talk, like, just talk to me and interact with me like a normal person because I was a woman or because I was a married woman. And it's like, married women have contributed to art and science and philosophy and inventions and, like, also it's very presumptuous. It's like, I'm not interested in anybody. I am interested in it's always men who I am not interested in. Always. Who have all these things, and it's like, bro, sorry. Even if you were the last person on earth, probably no. So, no hard feelings, just, like, why don't you treat married women the way you would treat a bro? Because she's not available to you, and most likely not interested in you. Just like your bro probably isn't. I mean, depending, your bro may be interested in you. But, like, married women are, if you're a straight man, married women are like straight men to you. That should be how it is. But people are not like that, so I don't like that. And people, always men. I have never had a female do this, but it is always men who, like, comment, trying to control what I talk about when it comes to things like certain topics. And sometimes it's well-meaning. It's almost always well-meaning. But it's really not. It makes me very uncomfortable. So please stop that. I'm trying to be authentic. This is me having an authentic conversation with you. Not even trying, like, it's just kind of coming out. I hope that you are not upset with me for being honest with you. And obviously, I tell you directly if something is hurtful. So, I do that. Just, like, I don't think sometimes you realize how hurtful some of this nonsense is. It's not the end of the world. There's much more serious things going on in my brain. It's just like, don't give me more stuff on top of all the stuff that I'm already dealing with. Like, I've got a lot of demons to work with. I don't need your, like, I'm not but it's like a lot of times people don't listen or think. People just say something, and then later in evaluation it turns out either that's not what I said. I've had people look back and be like, oh wait, I've also had it be like where I was trying to do something or educate on something important. It often is, it's actually multiple times been, that's not what I said. And you can go back in the recording and see. So it's like, maybe think about it first, or like go back, or just a lot of times people will like jump to conclusions, I guess is what I'm saying. And I wish that they would not do that. I wish they would wait. But we all do it. I do it also. I know I do it. I'm sure I do it because people in my family do it. And I know I inherit things from them. So hopefully I don't do it that much. Look at this hair. Hair looks kind of cool when it's wet. Very messy. But this light makes my skin look so pale. Anyway, so that's that. Now I feel dumb. But I think it's better to be authentic and have a conversation with you. I was gonna make actually a separate video about that topic, but that's not a very fun separate video. Like please listen before you speak video. Or a yo, like, think for yourself video, because I've also had that. I've had it where someone didn't understand what I was saying, so they tried to send my words to somebody else to explain to them, rather than asking me. And the somebody else didn't know anything. And it was like, because they weren't able to, and then they sent me like a flaming thing back, really angry, and like tried to like hunt me down or like hurt me online, or like hunt my products down. And it was like, you clearly don't understand this topic on your own, so maybe you shouldn't be attacking people about it until you understand it better. It was like very stupid. So I've had people say that like it was their goal to make me get off YouTube. Like this was so important that everyone needed to know. And it was like, you know, there are murderers out there and there's wars going on all around the world. If I am your biggest problem, you are a privileged son of a bitch. And of course I've told you about the silly stalkers. I've told you about them before, I think. But it's like, it's not a big deal, right? I've had much, much worse things happen in life, but it is irksome, and it's like the paper cut. I heard someone somewhere say that like, they're worried that if you're like dying, like and bleeding out everywhere, like that last paper cut might be the one that kills you. Highly unlikely, but it feels like that sometimes. It feels like guys, either help with what I'm doing or get out of the way. Like we're trying to make a difference here. And I don't know, does that sound too aggressive? I'm trying to like let myself be. I have noticed that you get the most benefit when I am most just real. So I'm trying to allow that, but also it's kind of painful because you guys, it's obviously the most vulnerable. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to say is, like, help me be better. Don't, like, if there's something I can do that can help more people, then help out. But make sure you know what you're talking about before you give suggestions. Because a lot of times you don't. Just like I don't. I want you to hold me to this. I want to not leave any comments on YouTube for at least a week. Because I have another account and I comment so often. And like, reading the comments on YouTube is such a waste of time, unless it's your own channel. I love reading your comments because because you are just a delight. It is kind of wonderful to see the things that are going on and the ways you are. Some of you, I've followed your journey through the comments over a course of 2 years and seen you go from really dark places to really good places, or all the different adventures that you're having. I like that. That's cool. That's really cool. But I'm talking about, like, I comment too much on other people's videos. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. We would all be better off if we talked less about stuff that we know nothing about. And I wish that I did that. I wish that I was better at that. Trying to stick to what is, that's why I tell you guys, like, that's like why I try to be really transparent with you when it's like I haven't taken care of that. Because sometimes you guys ask me questions and it's like I haven't taken care of that kind of patient. That's not my area of expertise. Or I can't give you specifics because I haven't taken care of your case, right? So, because I don't want to be someone who's just saying nonsense about shit they know nothing about, right? Because it can be dangerous. You can't. I told you the parable of the feathers before, right? Yeah. About the young man who started a rumor about an old man. This is something I learned way back when I was in martial arts. This was something that was told through the Tukong training program. Young man tells a bunch of rumors about an old man that he didn't like and was jealous of. So the entire village hated the old man. The old man had to live alone up on a mountain. But one day the young man felt shame for what he had done, and he went to the old man and he asked, "How can I make this better? How can I fix this, or what can I do for you?" The old man said, "Take this pillow full of feathers, take it up to the mountain, and toss all the feathers into the wind." So he did. He came back and he said, "Okay, so now what?" And the old man said, "Now go and get all the feathers back." And of course, he couldn't. He could find maybe a handful of feathers. And the old man said, "That's what it's like. That is what words and rumors are like. Surely the tongue is such a small thing, but one spark sets the entire forest ablaze, for good or for bad." So, I wish I watched more carefully what I said, not in the sense of being afraid, because there's this balance where on the one hand we don't say the things that are true and that we should say. We don't like sit and search within ourselves like, is this authentic? Is this true? Is this what I really mean? You know? Instead, we kind of play a lot of surface thoughts and just let them, especially those of us who are privileged enough to be, have access to internet and social media. And it's like, we are talking so much, and especially, allies do this so often. I don't care what cause you're talking about, allies spend so much more time talking than listening to the people that they're supposed to be trying to help. And I want to talk about this on the hero channel, but we get a hero's complex that is nonsensy, right? A real superhero, you wouldn't even know they were there because they're quiet and in the back they get things done. Even the Messiah, when he was first healing people, told them to not tell what he had done. And he did that because his time had not yet come. It wasn't time yet. He knew that if And that's the danger between, like, I want to advocate for causes that are important, and I want to keep you guys updated on what we're doing and the changes that we're making, and, you know, what we're doing with Isabel and what we're doing with Paraguay and other stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't want to be one of those. I don't want to be a mouth. I don't want to be a mouth. I want to be a person. I want to be a person. I want to be a person. Anyway, sorry for rambling and sorry for taking it in ups and downs and darks. But, I just wanted to tell you I made this cool thing. And, on a normal day of mace-wielding duels and interplanetary sabotage, young Jay Marines has things under control. He's plagued by night terrors and an arch-enemy, as slippery as the grime on his gun, but freedom fighters all around the galaxy look to him for help. He's got the favor of a mystical energy being, and a best friend who'd die for him. On a normal day, Jay is a legend. Today is not a normal day. Today, Jay broke an enemy soldier's mask and found his best friend inside. Tomorrow, that best friend will sell Jay out in the name of saving the universe. And the next day, Jay will disobey orders and break promises to take her down. I love that copy, by the way. You're making me excited. So yeah. Only Wednesday is in 99 cents. After that, it's not more expensive. Much more expensive after that. So just wanted to let you know that you could. I'll let you know again later, you know, when it actually comes out. But definitely, if you read the first book, or if you haven't, good time to get that. So I think that you'll like it. It's called Neodymium Betrayal. That's what it's called. You might hate it. I'm a little shy about it. It's got things in it that people will not like. But it's very emotional. I'm very emotional. A lot of feelings. So you may not like that. But I think it's also very cool. It's the most unrealistic of the three. The three first books in the Neodymium Chronicles. It's definitely the most unrealistic, but it's hard to express my feelings about it. Sorry, this has been not relevant.